So welcome back to the notes for writing equations of lines. We're in example 2. In example 1, we were given the y-intercept and the slope. This time we're given the slope and a point that's on the line. In that case, we want to use point-slope form, and that's this form shown right here. Y minus y1 is equal to m, the slope, times the quantity x minus x1. In our first example, A, we're given the slope as 2 and a point on the line 2, 1. That's going to be our x1, y1 when we're using this point slope form equation. So we're going to have a y minus y1, which is positive 1, is equal to the m, the slope, and that's given as 2, then parentheses, x minus, and the x1 from our point is a 2. And that is the point slope form of the line with a slope of 2 that passes through the point 2, 1. Now we want to rewrite this point slope form into slope intercept form. So I'm going to start by rewriting my equation. Y minus 1 is equal to 2 times the quantity x minus 2. And I'm going to distribute this 2 over the terms in the binomial, and I'll have a y minus 1 is equal to 2 times x, and then 2 times negative 2 is a negative 4. Okay, to get into slope-intercept form, I want this y by itself. So I'm going to add 1 to both sides, and now y is equal to 2x. And when I combine the like terms, negative 4 plus 1 is a negative 3. And now my line is in slope-intercept form. Okay, in example B, we want to write the equation of the line first in point slope form and then in standard form. This time we don't see what the slope is. We weren't given the slope, but we can count it from these 2 points. So if we're starting at our lower point, we rise up 1, 2, 3, and we go to the left 1, 2. So up and to the left would be a negative slope. So this would be negative 3 over 2. You could also use your slope formula in order to calculate that slope if you wanted to. Okay, then we can pick a point from the graph to use as our x1, y1. It doesn't matter which point you pick. So I'm going to go ahead and use 1, 1 as my x1, y1. But you could also use 3, negative 2, or any other point that is on that line. So in point slope form, here's my equation. Y minus y1 equals m times the quantity x minus x1. So we'll have y minus 1 equals negative 3 over 2, that's my slope, times the quantity x minus 1. And that's point slope form. Now to rewrite that into standard form, we're going to first copy down our point slope form. Y minus 1 is equal to negative 3 over 2 times the quantity x minus 1. And then we're going to simplify this by distributing that slope over the parentheses in the terms of the binomial. So we have y minus 1 is equal to negative 3 over 2x. Then a negative times a negative is a positive, and 3 halves times 1 is 3 over 2. Okay, now I want to get rid of my fractions because standard form has a whole number, coefficients, and constant. So I'm going to multiply each of these terms by 2. So 2 times y is 2y. 2 times negative 1 is a minus 2. 2 times negative 3 over 2x, the 2's cancel, and that leaves a negative 3x. 2 times positive 3 over 2 is a positive 3. And see how multiplying by that denominator to each term in the equation eliminates the fractions. So next I want to get my x's and my y's on the same side for standard form. So I'm going to add 3x to both sides. And in standard form, the constant is on the opposite side of the x's and y's. So I'm going to add 2 to both sides to move that constant to the other side. So I have my 3x, positive coefficient now, plus 2y is equal to 3 plus 2, which is 5. And there is standard form. Okay, so you want to either on your dry erase board or on some scratch paper, write the equation of the line that passes through the point 1, 5 and has a slope of -2. I'd like you to try to write that in all three forms. So I would begin with the point slope form of the line, then transform that into slope-intercept form, and finally into standard form. Once you're ready, you can resume the video and we'll go over those answers together. Okay, so in point slope form, I am using the point 1, 5 as my x1, y1, and the slope is -2, and that's the m in the formula. So I've got y minus y1, which is 5, equals the m, which is -2, times the quantity x minus, and x1 is 1. Okay, now we have the equation in point slope form. We're going to distribute that -2 over the parentheses to each of the terms in the binomial, and then we can add the constant to the other side to get into slope-intercept form. So we've got a -2x, a negative and a negative is a positive, and 2 times 1 is 2. We add 5 to both sides, and y is equal to -2x plus 7. That's slope-intercept form. Now, to go from slope-intercept form to standard form, all we need to do is add 2x to both sides, and we've got our standard form, which is 2x plus y is equal to 7. We know we're in standard form because the coefficient on the x is positive, the x's and y's are added together on the same side, and there are no fractions or decimals.